and welcome to Flosstube number 11. My name is Jo. I'm Stitchy Cat Lady 26 on YouTube and on Instagram. Today is March the 2nd. It's Wednesday. It's grey and rainy outside, so it seemed like the perfect day to do a Flosstube. I have a couple of whips to show you and a couple of new starts. So without any further ado, let's get on. First whip is Spider's Queen. The artist is Little Fairy Art and it was charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I will put a photo in of what it should look like when it's finished and of where it was the last time we spoke. And this is where we are now. So I've done a little over 1,000 stitches on this since the last video. And it's all down here. I've decided to tidy up my part threads a little bit by just putting them in a couple of 10 rows, if you get what I mean, 10 by 10 block rows, just to tidy them up a little bit. So that's come on quite nicely. So that was just over 1,000 stitches. My next work in progress that you've seen before is Boris the Bat by Mill Hill. So I will put a photograph in of where he was last time, and this is where he is now. So I need to put in the stitches, the edges of his wings, then the back stitch and beads, and he'll be all done. So I'm working on him as part of Mill Hill Mondays with So Glover Creations, Nightmare Before Stitchmas, Mad Morty and DNA Needlecraft. So between the 5 of us, we're working on 3 different designs. I don't know how many stitches I've done on him. I haven't counted. Yes, no. Snow decided she wants to join me. That's it for whips. Get straight onto the new starts. First new start is this little guy. So this is Ice Cap Santa, part of the Polar Santas range from Mill Hill. This technically is also part of haul, so I'll give you the details of that in the haul section, because obviously no chart, kit, thread, fabric, whatever, can travel alone, so he wasn't bought on his own. So I will tell you more about that when I get to it. Just a small start. So this is his sack and his neck, and we're doing this as a small group of us, small chat group on Messenger, or related to one of the Facebook games that we play. A number of us bought these last week, and the suggestion was made that we did a hashtag. So that is hashtag Stitchy Santa Sunday. So there's only about half a dozen of us taking part, but you know, it's all about the encouragement and the support and giving each other a boost up. So that's my first new start. Now, I quite like the Mill Hill kits because I can work on them without my craft light. So it means I can, I'll do them at night and I don't worry about counting the stitches for the games. I just work on them, and when they're done, they're done. I don't need to worry about it. So my second new start is a stitch along from Lakeside Needlecrafts. It's the Crystallise stitch along. We've had 3 parts up till now, and I've actually started on part 3. I basically waited until the first part was in the middle, second, third part, so I've started with the third part at the top just so it was easier to measure my fabric for myself. And third part is amber. Now this is only 2 shades. It's about 500 stitches, 500-600 stitches at the minute. So I'll be working on amber, and then it'll be malachite down here. The fabric is from a Pole Stitchers grab bag. I think it's 32 count, but I've not actually paid that much attention to it. I've measured it as being for, you know, equivalent to 14 count, 28 count, so I know it will fit. It will actually fit with a lot of room left over. So, but it's really nice mottled grey fabric, which I thought would look really good with the bright colours of the crystals. And that is all the stitching I have to show you. So next up is haul. Okay, so haul, I've already taken it out of the CCK bag where my haul normally sits and waits for me, because Snowdrop has decided to come and snuggle. So it was just easier than tipping it out on top of her. I don't think she would have liked that. So we're going to start with the Jodery designs, Fabric Club and Thread Club. So this is the Year of Fabric Club 2022. I've gone for the bright stroke dark option, and this is what we got this month, well, February. It's called Hearts and Flowers. That's on 28 count Brittany. Again, edges nicely serged. I did get the 18 inch by 26 inch, so it's a pretty big piece. I also received my 10 thread club. So again, a real nice range of colours and shades. This one is amazing. It's called Flamingo Flock. No surprise with the name there. This pack actually gets me up to number 60, so I've only got 2 more months to go. And yesterday I actually paid for the next month, so I paid for March, so I only need March and April on these, and I've got the full set, unless she introduces any more after 250, but I've not seen any yet. I will check on that. So that's Jodery. I also had a delivery from Pole Stitchers, a couple of charts that I'd ordered. So we have Bella Filipina's Mermaid Treasures Amethyst. Now, if you haven't noticed before, I like amethyst. I can just about see that. I always wear an amethyst. I've always been drawn to purples. Amethyst really is my colour. So we got this chart, on pre-order, and I ordered the climates to go with it. So it's around here. Because while you've got them, while they're available to get them. I also got the new Joan Elliott Geisha, Springtime Geisha. I already have, I think, all of the other geishas, or if not all, almost all. I think she's just so pretty. The model is stitched on Fields of Green Lugana by Pole Stitchers. But I didn't order the fabric. I'm pretty certain that I will have some suitable fabric. And if I haven't, I'll just go on and order it. Okay, now this is a new designer for me, but I fell in love with this design months ago when Mad Morty showed it on her Flosstube. She is a UK distributor for the supplier, for the designer in this case. And this is Celtic Bee from Textured Treasures. So this part of the wing is actually done in satin stitching metallic. And Morty's husband David has started it. We'll leave it at that. I suggested possibly doing a stitch along with him to try and encourage him, and Morty just said, "You haven't seen how much he's done, or how much he hasn't done." But I just fell in love with this. So as I just said, Morty is a distributor for Textured Treasures in the UK, and I believe it was her second Flosstube, and she did a tour of her craft room, and this came up, and I'm sure I saw this photograph then, and I just fell in love with it. So yeah, I had to have it when she mentioned something on our chat the other day. A bunch of us jumped on the bandwagon because Textured Treasures don't just do their own designs, they also have a stock of the Mill Hill Santas. And since no chart, kit, thread, fabric, whatever travels alone, as well as Ascap Santa, I got Snowdrift Santa and the bee. So seemed like a good deal. They're just so sweet. But then another 2 or 3 of us on the group also said, "Oh, we'll have some Santas too. What else have you got?" So Morty's a distributor for Textured Treasures, and they just have some stock of Mill Hill. But she does a whole range of things. So we've got canvas work, pulled thread, mosaics. So this one's largely cross stitch and back stitch. So I think this is a designer supplier that I will be looking into getting more from at some point in the future. Okay, that's all the haul. It's not going to be a long one, this one. Now, also in haul, although not a physical thing, I downloaded a journal app. It's called Zinnia. It's from a company called Pixite, which I already have the colouring app for, if I can find it. Can't find it. So it's called Zinnia. It is a subscription, but you get a free trial, which is not time limited, but the limit is you only get 3 journals, and each journal only has 3 pages. A lot of people just seem to use it as a planner, but you can decorate it as much as you want. There's all sorts of things available to do the decorations. I didn't want to use it as a planner, so I'm using it to journal my progress on my whips. I do have one for months, just in case I decide I do want to do some planning. I also have kitties and garden. I haven't played about with these, I haven't done too much decoration on these. But the decoration can do things like this. So that's my new start for Crystallise. You can get the background separate, import photos, import PDFs, you've got stickers, text, frames. There's also an option for washi tape. So the first one I did was for Spider's Queen. So the background was just a paper that I found that's featured on there, lightened the actual background to bring the spider webs forward. And that's just so much fun. Even the washi tape is spider webs. So you can set up themes. There's a whole studio of things to use. And I'm actually quite enjoying using it. So I have one for Mill Hill. So all my Mill Hills will go in the same one. So Boris the Bat. This entire page was set up simply so I could use that as spiral arrow because I just thought it looked so cool. That is the Zinnia app. And that's basically all I've been watching on YouTube. I haven't watched a lot of Flosstube. There's a few that I need to catch up on. I know Total Stitch Show's got one waiting to be watched, and a couple of the other girls. I'm hoping Stitcherin's going to have a new one out this week. I think it's due this week. So, but I've been watching lots on the Zinnia app. And I think I'm going to have a bit of fun with that. Again, it's something I can do at the end of the day when I don't want to be stitching. I can take my craft light off. I can just have a bit of a play around. That is haul and Zinnia. Updates. The boiler didn't get done thanks to Storm Eunice. Luckily the old boiler is still working, but it's just not very efficient. If anything goes wrong, it's not going to be fixed. So yeah, that's all been rebooked for next week. So that's another day I can't go to the shelter. We've had to take Ozzy to the vet this last week. He's been, that was last Wednesday. We noticed that after spending a couple of years worrying that he wasn't peeing enough, that he had blockages and cystitis and crystals and all sorts of stuff like that, we noticed that he was actually drinking and peeing a huge amount. Much more than he ever has before. Got him to the vet and his glucose levels were really high. So he's currently on insulin. Hopefully it's a temporary blip. But you know what? If it's not temporary, we'll cope with it. You know, our dog Bud had diabetes and we were injecting insulin daily for him for just a few days off 3 years. So if that's what we have to do with us, that's what we have to do for us. It's one of those things. It's one of the things that comes from having and loving animals. They get ill sometimes they don't, but you cope with it. You do what you have to do. And so far he's been really good with his injections. It's twice a day. He gets a treat after, but we've got to be a bit careful because he is still needing to lose weight. He's lost over 1 kilo, but we want him to lose another 2. So hopefully if he gets the weight off, the diabetes will be less of an issue. It's all probably connected, so we'll just do our best for him and get the weight off him, keep up with the injections, which he doesn't even seem to feel. So fingers crossed we can get him through it. That really is all now. So I will put in a photo of Ozzy. I got a really nice photo of him earlier on today, so I'll just put that in around here. So yeah, that's me done. So everybody have fun, stay safe. Have fun sounds really trite in the current situation with Ukraine, and my heart goes out to everybody there. If you feel like you want to help, there's lots of information out there about ways to help. There's plenty of designers based in the Ukraine. One of my favourite embroidery YouTubers, Embroidery Art with Nat, or Embroidery Art by Nat, sorry, is in Ukraine. I believe she's towards the western border with Poland, but her family are further east, so obviously that's a worry. I'm not going to get into the politics. I just hope that everybody is as safe as they can be, and it's all over pretty soon. It's quite frankly scary, because if Ukraine falls, who's next? Poland, Slovakia. It's all going to start again. So hopefully things will sort themselves out. In the meantime, look after each other, be kind to each other, stay safe, and help wherever you can, wherever you see a need, whether it's local, international, whatever. Every act of kindness can change a life. So with that deep thought, I'm going to say goodbye. Snowdrop's falling asleep on my knee, she needs to move, and I will see you next time.